Hello, everyone. This is Angel Aviles with Living Firme with another episode of 30 Inspiring Women. Today, I have two beautiful women, like stunning. It's unfortunate that this is a podcast or you know exactly what I'm talking about. These ladies are successful. They are businesswomen, moms. There's so many things, but most importantly, they're comadres. I'm going to go ahead and read their bios so you know exactly who I'm talking about. First, I have Alejandra Garcia. She found herself conflicted with her desire to be a stay-at-home mom and supporting her husband's tattoo career, all while pursuing her career with a retail schedule. It was then that she decided that she would be her own boss and strictly stick to being a freelance makeup artist, which gave her control and flexibility to do what she loved and also to manage her own schedule. Her work as a makeup artist varies from fashion photo shoots, bridal events, to everyday people who just want to learn or feel empowered by looking and feeling their best. Among her many clients is one of her idols, the legendary soul singer, Barbara Mason. Alex has had the honor to begin working on Miss Mason in 2016 and has the honor to be her personal makeup artist when she performs in California. Next we have Daisy. Everyone knows Daisy as DeysiDanger on Instagram, but her real name is Daisy Lomeli. At 25, Daisy decided to pursue her dream of becoming a makeup artist. She attended makeup school and got hired at the school as an intern. She worked her way up and then got hired at MAC, and that's where she was able to expand her career skills as well as network and meet other artists and people in the industry. From there, she began focusing on social media and made it her full-time job. Now she gets to work from home. She's collaborated with a cosmetic brand, Morphe, and created her own highlight palette with them. Her career allows her to travel all around the world and has also allowed her to step into the fashion industry. Daisy wants to do it all, to be involved in beauty, fashion, and weight loss. Ooh, now I need to retire. My tongue is tired. Girls, ladies, mujeres, you're busy, you're successful. My first question always is, how did you get here? I mean, it's a long question, but basically what the culture of your homes were like growing up.
I think, the reason why we got along is because we grew up very alike, but different at the same time. I grew up in a very traditional Mexican home. You know, my parents were both immigrants, so my first language was, just the typical Mexican-American first-generation kid, both hardworking parents. My parents, they struggled, but the thing about it is that I didn't know growing up that we were poor, because although our parents were very low income, they were very hard workers, and they made sure that we never needed anything. My parents did split up, so I was always back and forth. My dad lived in LA, my mom lived in Pomona, and I was always back and forth, so I grew up in both areas. Although, my family was broken, I still had love from both my parents, and they were very nurturing and very supportive of whatever I wanted to do. I wasn't very good in school, per se. I mean, I was good at it, but it just wasn't my thing. I didn't find myself liking it. I was always very artistically inclined, and I knew that whatever I wanted to do in life was going to go somewhere along that route. And when I was in high school, I was very obsessed with makeover shows. Back then, I think my favorite, I don't know if you remember, it was Jenny Jones. She was, she had so many makeovers on her show, and I was so obsessed with them, so
I can't.
The makeup was always my favorite part. So from there, I started looking at the magazines and just always rushing through to look at the makeup section, and I would look at a picture and would, sit in my room and just try to recreate the look, and I just started like that. So once I was a sophomore in high school, I started doing makeup on other girls, and then my makeup thing just went from there. But growing up, I just knew that was something that I was going to be bound to do.
Well, for me, it's very similar to Alex's story. I grew up in LA. I'm an LA baby at heart. I was in East LA for a while until I was probably 7 or 8, and then we moved to South Central LA to Watts. And I mean, it was.
Come on, I was born in Watts too.
I know, we're Martin Luther King babies. So we were very, very poor. My mom was a single mom of 2. When we moved to Watts, it's because she got married. I had a stepdad, so life got a little better, but we struggled a lot. how I got started, since I was a little kid, like, this is true story. I had no shoes. Like, the teachers would give me hand-me-downs. They would give me shoes from their grandkids or, even their kids and stuff like that. So growing up for me, I always knew that I wanted to work really hard, and I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want not to have money. And I think since I was just a little kid, I was very ambitious. I just always thought of, what can I do to not have to live like this? And for me, something that didn't cost money and I could do in school, and it was always art. I like to color. I like to color with paint. I like to color with crayons. Anything that involves coloring or shading, not much drawing or paintings, but just drawing and shading and coloring. It was always just something that helped me just keep my mind busy, and it made me feel good because people will look at it and then be like, oh, such a good job. I was always fascinated by makeup since I was little. Then my mom liked that a little better. She went to beauty school. She didn't really finish, or, but she was inspired by it, and I would look at her doing her things, and I would play with her stuff, and that's where it all started. And then I was in junior high, and I started doing my brows, and I started getting into trouble and, just being a crazy wild kid. But everyone knew to come to me for brows or for makeup or for hair, and I started charging in junior high. I was charging to tweeze brows, and I got suspended for tweezing brows.
Were you shaving people's eyebrows?
Oh my God, yes. I would give them the chola brows, and that's what I was known for. And so
I can't take it. I'm sorry. I had to pull myself off of mute. I had to come off of mute to laugh at that one out loud.
Because one of the parents complained because I had pinched her daughter's eyebrows with the tweezers. I mean, I wasn't good. I was tweezing brows in the PE field at Charles Drew Middle School in Watts. Like, it was no joke. Then I got pregnant at a very young age. I had my kids. I was a mom of twins by 15. So then, life got serious. I went to school, finished school, got a job, struggled as a single mom. Life got a little better for me too. I was able to go to makeup school, and then it just took off from there. It wasn't really that I needed a makeup school. I just needed to be around other people in the same search of what I was looking for. And then it's almost like you are more inspired by everyone around you. And I don't know, I just think if you really want something, if you really love it, you find a way to get it. It doesn't matter if you can do it now, you do it later, you figure out a way to get it. And that's how, I got started. And now it's a thing of its own.
There's that saying that your vibe attracts your tribe. And I think that it goes both ways. Your tribe creates your vibe. And so, when you heard your parents and they were saying, don't hang out, what was that dicho?
Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres.
Walks like a duck, it looks like a duck.
Yes.
But check it out. They were giving you like the old school law of attraction advice because it's so true. A lot of times we do have to pull ourselves. It's not standing in judgment of where we grew up. It's just in realization that in order to go somewhere, you have to actually move. And there's nothing wrong with being happy and content with where you are. But it's just that you, as a child, instinctively knew that you wanted more. Now, Alex, you have actually been married for a long time.
Yes. We are going on 11 years this year.
Aww. For both of you, what part does your friendship play in the management of career and family?
Well, for me, it was kind of like an internal struggle for me, juggling my family and career at first, because at the time I was working with Max before I had my first baby, and although I loved it, I was in my, how do I say it? I was in my
element.
In my element. I loved it, but at the end of the day, it was a retail schedule. I just knew that I wasn't gonna want somebody to raise my kid for me. I didn't want to miss that first step. I didn't want, because at the end of the day, whether your kid goes to daycare or is with a babysitter, they learn habits from other people. Mm-hmm. So I wanted my kids to learn from me. Thank God that I've always been blessed with being able to stay at home, because whether I work or not, my man is a breadwinner. So I was able to stay at home, but then in the beginning, it was like, okay, my baby was little. And then when she turned 4, I had another baby. So as the time went by, I kind of started struggling with being a stay-at-home mom. I know that it is a blessing, but at the same time, I was kind of struggling with, well, I still want to continue with my makeup career. I still want to, there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish that I'm not dedicating enough of my time to. I run the household, I take care of the kids, I take care of my husband, and I wasn't making enough time for myself to do the things that I wanted to do enough. I started doing it more on the weekends. I started, just getting out there a little bit more. And I think that I was just so used to I can't because of my schedule. I just kind of had to get over it myself. I had to get out of my own way and just take care of myself, because at the end of the day, if I'm not happy, I can't make my kids happy. I can't make my husband happy, because deep down inside, there's something that's missing. So believe it or not, Daisy and I became friends not that long ago. It's so weird because I make friends with people easily because I'm a very social person, but a friend, like a true friend, I've had the same set of friends for over 15 years. And it's so funny because in this industry, even though it is a beauty industry, it can be very ugly. Women can be very catty towards each other, and we just hit it off. We named each other comadres right away because we went to El Mercadito in East LA one time. And we were just like, we're like comadres in the mercado right here, and then, eating, shopping, talking, gossiping. And we just like the same things, and we're just so old school, traditional Mexican, we just vibe all the way, we're so much alike, but we're so different at the same time. And we just feed off of each other, we can be our true, genuine selves with each other. Daisy does her thing, she's a beauty influencer, and we're kind of in the same industry. Of course, she's superstar over here on Instagram, but we like the same stuff. We even say the same things at the same time, and we're like, best friends! In school, our daughters are a year apart. They love each other. They're we call them the little comadritas. Yes. They're so cute. So, we do a lot of let's take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, let's take the kids here and there, and we do our thing, we do our mom thing, they'll come. My husband works late nights a lot, so she'll come over and, we have dinner together, we just watch movies, we veg out on the couch, we do a lot of things together, actually.
Yeah. I love even that the way you guys laugh together. It's so genuine. And the question was initially about handling, basically work-life balance when you have a family. There were a couple of things that Alejandra covered. One thing she did talk about was a sense of guilt when you have to decide, I think that sometimes that can be really traditional, the traditional Latina guilt about having to take care of your family and what constitutes being a good mom, and how we have to overcome that in order to pursue our career to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's so true with me. I mean, my oldest are 19 and my little one is 7. So I deal with a lot of that. With me balancing it, like I said, I was a mom at such a young age. So it's almost like it became nature. I had to go to school right after I had my twins, and then I had to work. So it was hard, but I think when you're so young, I think you adapt. It becomes that's just how life is. It's been hard, yes, and then I could totally see the difference with my twins. Not only did I have to go to school, but I also worked, a full-time job in high school. I could see the difference between how my kids are raised and how my little one is now that I get to stay home and stuff like that. But now that my career has really taken off, it's hard. Yesterday, I left the house, I think at 7:30, 7:40, and I didn't get back until 8 o'clock last night. And with my job, it's one of those where when you gotta go, you gotta go. That's it. And yeah, I plan things out, but some of these things are just so unexpected. If an opportunity comes in and knocks, I run. I'll be, on my way or on a flight somewhere. And, my kids, especially my oldest, they've learned how to adapt to. They're very supportive. My son knows, only if she's gone and she's not around, just call her if it's an emergency. And my little one knows. She knows, even because I do work from home, and a lot of my work consists, actually I work from my phone. So she knows that if I'm on my phone, she says, oh, mommy's working. And I mean, it's not easy, but I always think, I'm a single mom. So I think if I don't get this done, it's a one-man show. I need to get it done, and the kids understand that as well. And now that my kids are older, it's even harder because they have adult lives. So I do catch myself torn in between doing something or leaving. I was in Georgia a few days ago, and something was going on at home with my oldest daughter, and so it could be really, really hard. But I think I'm very ambitious, so that also it wakes me up in the morning and it makes me feel like, well, if I want it, I have to do it, and I have to go get it. And I'll figure out a way. And I think that's how I've gotten to, where I'm at today. A lot of people always ask, how do you do it? And I always tell them, if you want it, you're going to figure out a way. And even if I have kids, I love kids. I would love to have more children. And I know I could just figure it out. As women, we are wired to just figure things out. Just about every mom on this earth can figure it out,
That's something that I always tell you, I said, we don't always do what we want to do, but we're gonna do it.
We're wired that way. We're wired to have children and work and maintain a home and do all that. I mean, now I'm a little blessed. I have a housekeeper, but when I used to work 2 jobs, I worked at a makeup school, I worked at MAC, and I still had to cook and I still had to clean. And at the time, I had a man, and I figured it. You figure shit out. You just get it done. I don't know, what was the other question too?
How does our friendship
Oh, the friendship. Oh my God. Okay, so friendship, I'm the same way like Alex, but I could be actually a little more worse. I do not allow new people in my life. My circle is tight. There's no room for friends, but we hit it off so good. And Alex will tell you, she's going to laugh, I'm a very needy friend, and I need a lot of emotional support sometimes. She plays a huge part, and all my friends.
I already have you all figured out.
I know, she does. It's a relationship to me.
It's a committed relationship.
It's committed, and if something happens, I'm all the way in. And with Alex, what it is, and I think what made us hit it off so well, too, is that she has children. My other 3 best friends don't have kids at all, and they're not planning on having kids anytime soon. My best friend, Jason, we've been together since, I say together like we're in a relationship because
go together.
Yeah, we go together. He's my soulmate. He is my soulmate. He is the love of my life. And, he's a gay man. So we've been best friends. My gay husband since high school. And, he's watched me with the kids, and he's, been there for Celia. But he still doesn't have children. So when
they don't understand the struggle.
Yeah, when I found Alex, it's like, oh my God, not only do we get to be best friends, but I have like someone that I can talk about kids with or things like that. And it just, I don't know, she became a big support system. Like, she understands when I'm going through it with my oldest, and she has that feeling of a mom, like, oh, I feel for you, like, things like that. So she is a big part of my life, and I don't know, I just love this bitch. I love her.
To touch on that, I mean, this goes individually. Not everybody thinks the same, but I think for many women, you are made to believe, or, not to believe, but you compete with others. The thing about the beauty industry being so ugly is just that everybody, wants to step on each other's toes, and I think that's just for any job or anything out there. I think mainly for people that come, from the gutter. People that struggle, you're so used to not having nothing that when you get something, you're like, this shit's mine and I'm not going to let nobody else get it, or I got this myself, nobody can take it. But I really believe that what's for you will be for you, and nobody can take that. What God has for you is for you. Like, you don't have to hate on the next person because you don't have it.
Bring somebody down to come up.
Yeah, you don't have to put other people down, because by doing that, you're going to block your own blessings.
It's a frequency and a vibe you put out in an energy. Another thing with me, the reason that I've been able to do well, it's because I do surround myself by good people like Alex. Just like I said, from working at the counters, you get to meet different people. I don't know, you just got to be careful. And in this industry, it's so vicious, it's so catty, and it's women. And it's not just women.
It's the men too.
No, well, the men too. But what people have to understand is that it's not your average woman that's in this industry. It's someone, I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but we're vain. We're in the beauty industry. And so it's a certain kind of women that are in this industry, so it can get really catty really fast.
We're ambitious.
We're ambitious, and the ego is a big thing. I've always said the same thing. I don't have to talk down or someone or try to block somebody for me to come up, because if you do that, you set off the energy and it comes right back. Do everything that you do for yourself in competition with yourself, and that's it.
I feel like there's enough success and enough out there to go around for everybody.
I always say that. The last time I checked, this is a $55 billion industry. There is plenty of money to go around.
It's something that you are in tune with. I feel like when you're in tune with yourself, with your own energy, you get in tune with other people, then you feel it. You feel the vibe. And Daisy is very sensitive to that, too. Like, yeah, like, my man is my best friend, but he can't be my friend.
I'm your best friend.
He can't be my homegirl, you know, and it's just something like, it's a sisterhood. You know, the other day I was at a photo shoot, and my man was stuck at home with the kids because I had the car, and it was just like that one weekend that everything was just off and out of whack. And so I called Daisy and I was like, hey, will you like go give him a ride with the kids, take him to the movies? So she's like, I kind of feel weird. And I was like, bitch, you swear, like, you're not always at my house, like, don't trip, you know? And they went, you know, she gave him a ride or whatever, and she was like, I kind of felt weird. And I was like, bitch, you are part of my family, do not feel weird. And then I met up with them at Shakey's, and, you know, there's women out there that'll be like, she ain't going around my man, you know? But it's such a good feeling when you have true, genuine homegirls that just support you, that have your back, that will be there for you, especially, like she said, like mothers.
Everything that you said was on point in every single way. The first thing that really hit me was about the competitiveness and how there's enough to go around. And you both have this abundance mindset, which is really to your benefit and to why there is so much abundance in your life, whether it's monetary abundance or love abundance, but you both have so much. And how you're just competing with yourself. Focus on yourself, and it's so much easier to not hate on other people when you're focusing on yourself. The second thing where you're like, well, you know, because I recognize vibes. You trust your own instinct. And I get that a lot, too, because people who I meet, I'm very open, and I'm very loving. And some people can't take it. Some people will automatically go to that fake bitch, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and first of all, I'm 50. I don't have to be fake to anybody. Like, I'm so way over that. If somebody can't take that, and I accept that, that's not about me. That's about them.
Right.
Yep.
With that being said, the whole idea of hating is at a whole new level. See, when I was a kid growing up, if you hated on somebody, you know, it was usually somebody in your neighborhood. You had a fight, and then, you know, you went out about your business.
And then you went about your business. I mean, I'm not going to say that.
No.
I mean, you know what? Don't get me wrong. Like, we grown, but, you know, it ain't never left.
Yeah. The level of hate is exponential on the Internet. It really is. Like, I'm like, did you create an account with your 23 followers just so you could hate on people?
You know what? To touch on this social media thing, it's just something, and I tell Daisy this all the time, and I know it's going to sound really petty, but because, you know, she has a huge following, and I think social media just made everybody get, you know, really brave, and you have these keyboard warriors that sit behind a screen in a cowardly way to talk shit to people that don't, like, and it's like, to me, and I always tell her, like, I feel like a big reason why I don't have a big following, or I didn't push myself to have a big following, is because, like, I'm very sensitive when it comes down to people attacking me. Like, if I feel attacked, I automatically go into defense mode, and I think it's because of the way we grew up, you know. And it's like you mentioned, like, if you had a problem with somebody, it's like, you know, like, you handled it, and that was it. But people hide now behind a screen on social media, and they say the most disgusting, hateful, wild things that you can imagine. And it's like, you would never say that to my face. But these kids nowadays, they take it to another level. And because these kids live their social life on the Internet, that's why you have the higher rate of suicide. You have the higher rate of cyberbullying. You have all this negativity that's going around. You know, now that we're older and we are on social media, we know just not to give into it and just to block it.
I said this to my kids. not everyone can be on social media, and sometimes people just can't handle it, you know, and they can either handle what comes in or they want to say everything that they feel. Like they're not able to express that in person, or they're not, I don't know, it's just not for everyone. With me, honestly, like at first, yeah, it used to upset me, but now I always think of it this way, and it might sound a little fucked up or arrogant of me to say, but I never met a peer or someone equal to me that would say something to me on social media, not once. Like, I feel everyone who tries to come at me or tries to come for me or says anything negative is usually someone who's very unhappy. You know, they're not doing what they love. They don't love their life enough. And so they go on and they troll. You know, I'm a person just like anyone else. They see pictures of makeup outfits or of me somewhere with my friends, and they think, oh, she thinks she's perfect, and they try to tear you down. But what they don't know is, you know, we have our own shit going on. I have my own life. I have my own issues, my own battles. But they can't handle it, so they spread hate. So I've grown thick skin. I don't ever respond. It doesn't faze me.
And so I'm very sensitive towards you.
No.
I'm like, you want to fight?
No, with me, I see my social media, it's a platform, and I will never use it in a negative way.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I don't react. Yeah, there's a couple of people that I can care less for, but if it gets to that point, they're irrelevant to me. It doesn't matter.
Different people use social media for different things. Some people like it just for fun. But a lot of people, like, you know, like us, yeah, we network, you know, it's for our business, it's our job. And you just have to focus, like for Daisy, you know, she can't be, you know, fighting everybody and being petty on social media, because this is her page, is her job. Like, she is her brand, she is her business.
And not only that, I think out of everything I just said, that's the only negative thing, which is 1% for me, like bad. Everything else is social media, and I will always say, and I don't care how dumb it sounds, it has changed my life, and it's been a blessing, and I love it. I love that there's an app on my phone that has allowed me to grow as a person, allowed me to grow in a career field, and has made me more money than I've ever made in my life. I hate when people say, oh, you're Instagram friends, you think you're friends. No, like, I've genuinely met people. Me and Alejandra, we started following each other. Even though we had seen each other, I think, around before social media.
Like makeup shows and
we
stuff.
Came across each other's page, and I've, you know, made amazing friendships. And like I said, I've got to travel because of the people that I meet through social media.
And shout out to our other amiguita that we met on social media. Selena, a.k.a. Heartless.
Yeah, I know, that's her amiguita. It's crazy. Social media could be a wonderful thing. I always say that. For me, it's changed my life, and, you know, I don't know what the hell I would do without it. I'm so happy.
Just ignore the negativity. You know, this was not that long ago, actually, for Halloween. They made, actually, one of my pictures into a meme, and there was no women talking shit, you know. It was posted on the meme page. Like, to a certain extent, bothered me, but then again, it didn't, because I'm very secure with my own self. I'm very confident with my own self. The fact that you call yourself a man and can sit there and say these horrible, disgusting things about a woman and her body to try to put her down is disgusting to me. And what made me feel really bad is like, wow, like, you know, I could only imagine if they said this to somebody else that didn't have the confidence level or love themselves the way that I love myself, how it would tear them down. Like, it was just the worst of the worst. And I think that's been one of the worst experiences that I've had it up with on social media. But like I said, you know what? Anybody who ever said anything negative just got blocked. You know, because it was on somebody else's page, except for the one man, and this, again, supposedly had called himself a man, you know, came on my page. It was just trolling things, just disgusting things. And then when you say, I clicked on his page, and I was like, did this motherfucker just call me fat with his no neck having ass? You know, like, I was like, he has a nerve. He has a nerve, the audacity to sit here and bash me when you look like this. You know, and not to be vain and talk, you know, body shame or talk about other people's looks, but it's like, you have the nerve to sit here and call me Miss Piggy and disgusting fat bitch and all this stuff, and it's like, homeboy, I will never look your way. I will never look at you twice. Please believe that. Like, so, you know, I just feel like you have to know and be secure in who you are, just to not let that stuff get to you. Like Daisy said, I'm a little bit more sensitive when it comes to words and stuff like that. You know, I guess she's dealt with a little bit more. You have to have thick skin, but, you know, there's a high suicide rate right now with kids and teens because they get bullied on social media. People say things about them online, and, you know, kids say things and it spreads in their schools, and it's just a lot of pressure. And I feel like it's very important for us to also raise our kids like that, to not listen to these people, to block out negativity, block out hate, and to know who they are. They need that reassurance and security from home. And I feel like we have to really dig and pull it out of them, because a lot of kids nowadays they're not very vocal. They're not very open because, you know, they're typing away on their phones.
My baby loves YouTube, and I have to sometimes take her little iPad away, and it's like, okay, I know it's all fun and games, but this is not the real world.
Mm-hmm.
You got to ride a bike. You got to do this. You got to do that. And
be normal.
And be normal. And other things matter. This is not everything.
This is not real. This is just a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I teach that to my little one all the time.
Our kids are consumers of media. They're consumers of products. They're consumers of other people's opinions. And they become further and further detached from who they are really supposed to be. They're far away from a creative being because they're not creating anything. They're not coloring anymore. They're not outside building houses or forts with blankets. Because, Alex, you covered something, too, earlier on. You said you didn't feel poor. And there's so much more to life. There's so much more to wealth than actual money. You know, there's the wealth of love, of mental, intellectual, emotional stimulation.
That's just something that I've always said. You know, I'm not rich monetarily, you know, but I'm very rich because of, you know, the things that matter to me, the things that I treasure the most, money can't buy. You know, my family, my husband, the relationship that I have, my friendships, you know, and that's everything to me.
I think the most fascinating people I've met who have money, everything could be taken away and they would rebuild again because of what they have inside their head and what they have inside their heart.
I know that I could move to an entire different place, but what I have, everything can be taken from me. I have a craft and I have something that I can do with my hands, and therefore I will rebuild myself all over because what I want is what I know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can always move to anywhere, or anything can happen and I know I'm going to be okay. You know, money isn't everything. You know, I work hard for it every day and it makes my life better, but I always tell myself I don't stress about money, and I think that's another thing. Alejandra will tell you, like, money comes and it goes. I know how to make it, and that's it. You know, I'm not going to stress about it because I know how to make it. You know, the most important things to me at the end of the day that make me, you know, get up from my bed is my children. As long as I have that and that's good, we're good. You know, everything else follows.
We make money off of our passion.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a job to us. It's not like, oh, fuck, I got to go to this 9 to 5. I hate my job. I hate my boss. It's like, we do what we love. We do what we like to do, and you get paid for it. You know, and it's like that famous saying that, you know, when you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah. Every day's Friday.
Well, I have loved talking to you ladies. You all are like my little sisters. I just love your vibe. I love your friendship, like I mentioned already. I think that I would like to continue to see more women offer each other the kind of support that we need these days to survive the world as it evolves. We need to teach our kids who are little women and little men developing how to be creative and secure and trust their instincts and develop their passions. I just super appreciate that you guys came on and spent this hour. The last thing I'm going to ask you, and it's going to seem redundant because we just talked about your social media, but how would people find you?
It's DeysiDanger. It's DEYSI and then Danger.
And then I am AlecksG, AlecksG. And I also have my separate makeup page only. It's AlecksGBEAUTY. I think I spelled it right. AlecksG Beauty.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me again, and I will talk to you ladies very soon.
Thank you for having us.